All right, welcome everyone into episode 32 of the Hooley Brothers podcast. We're recording live during game three of the Capitals and Bruins. 2-1 lead for the Capitals right now, just under 11 minutes to go in the third. Hopefully the Bruins can get another goal on the board here and maybe score more than one or at least get it into overtime. So we'll kind of have a live viewing of that for the latter half of the third period here. Mike, how you doing tonight?
Not bad. Wednesday night, man.
Wednesday night, yeah, we're getting through the week again. We're game three here. That's where we're going to start with the Bruins. My apartment's boiling hot, hence the tank top here, bringing the guns out for Wednesday night episode before I move into the central area in the new place. But so I think that's just where we get started. We obviously talked a little bit about game one. We didn't really get too much of a chance to watch either of that ourselves, but we've both been a little bit more locked in for games 2 and 3 here. And obviously coming off the game two wins, the series obviously tied right now 1-1. Brad Marchand with the overtime goal in game two, which was huge because then they were losing 3-2 in that one. Looked like they might be going down 2-0 in the series, but again, able to tie it up at the end of regulation with the Taylor Hall goal, and then Marchand putting it in the net very early into game two overtime. It was kind of I think I wasn't going to have another snack before I went to bed, and then I grabbed one and I was like, well, it didn't go much longer anyway. So, but whatever, had a snack anyway. But yeah, so again, 1-1 going into tonight. And Mike, I guess we'll start with game two while we kind of watch game three here. I don't think I've ever seen more 4-on-4s in my life in a single game than I did on Monday night.
Yeah, and a lot of that went in the Bruins' favor. Where
Mm-hmm.
I think I did hear that they started calling in other games, but they very rarely call the embellishment in the playoffs.
Embellishment on Wilson, right?
Wilson for that. I have no idea what it meant to do when Marchand was up in his face. He kind of just got him out of his face, and he got a penalty for it. So a lot of that entire second period was just a lot of just stupid plays of the Bruins that got bailed out in 4-on-4s. So
yeah, for sure. And it's funny because I don't even think I've seen his face yet, but Manta just sounds like a name that will drive me crazy over 7 games. Just like the name, oh man, I think it'd be worse if I had as much as I love Emmerich, his names, if you don't like them, if you love them, they're great, but I don't know, just Manta's gonna get on my nerves. Just the name, not even the guy. But anyway, also a weird game because there was 4 goals pretty early off the bat. There was 2-2, and then really took a while before the Caps put their third goal on the board. And then obviously the Bruins were able to kind of do more there. But just kind of a weird game where it started out so hot, then it cooled off a little as far as the scoring goes before it got to the third.
Yeah, it's really weird how they get the goals from. I mean, he has the go-ahead one tonight and the game winner on game one, Dowd, and then I forget his name, but also who had the goals 2 and 3 the other night, where they're both lower line guys too. So it's kind of coming from all the scoring is coming from all over for them. We're relying on a lot of the top guys between Hall, Bergeron, Marchand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like I said, it was kind of a back and forth. Again, early they seemed like they caught Anderson in a few bad spots the first, and were obviously able to capitalize there. But then, and not even fully blaming it on Tuukka, because I think some things were his fault, some things weren't. But it kind of quickly gave them back both times. So again, it was 2-2 for a while before the Caps were able to put their third goal on the board. But again, Bruins were obviously able to score the one in regulation, and then early on in overtime. That's again the funny thing about the hockey overtime is you wait this long and it could go the whole period and you have to wait again, or it could be 40 seconds or whatever the case might be before the game obviously ended there. So again, the Caps have had that weird goalie situation with again Anderson kind of filling in, almost 40 years old here. They obviously made the switch tonight because our guy Feidelberg, I was seeing him on Twitter. He's like, "Wait, did Anderson do a crow hop on that last goal?" It looked like that too. He was just way out of position.
He was not looking good side to side. He did have a pretty incredible game with over 40 saves, but he did look a little shaky going side to side. Also, Hathaway was the man that scored 2 goals the other night. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's been kind of crazy. So they lost their starter, got to go to a 40-year-old, and I think kind of just the way the game ended, they wanted to roll the dice with the young guy. So
yeah,
it seemed to be paying dividends so far.
Yeah, who I keep wanting to call Samsonov because of Sergei Samsonov, but it's pronounced slightly different, right? Kenny Albertson saying, or it's Samsonov, or it's something. What's that?
Yeah, it's Samsonov.
Yeah, so I keep thinking Samsonov because of Sergei back in the day, but Um, I don't know. And again, I'm probably not the expert on this, but like, and again, me being obviously, a big Tuca guy, I feel like he's been fine this series. Is that a fair take to have?
Yeah, a lot of deflected pucks, a lot of like defense hanging him out to dry, like some
Yeah.
ones, and
He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't done anything like
yeah, like
he's had a few bad looks, a few fantastic plays, but for the most part, it kind of evens up to just like, yeah, he's been
he's
fine.
just been like a very average goalie so far in this.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, try not to react too much. I think my kind of might be a few seconds apart, but I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
sure
a
if I had a
long
good
time than this.
look for a second there. Um,
Yep.
quick pause here. I had to wait for Mike to catch up.
Oh,
Kept my poker face going while I saw it.
it's
What's
funny 'cause
that?
on cable, of course, like it comes in a lot quicker. But when I'm in a room now watching on my phone on the app, it kind of
Mhm.
lines up with everyone else that streams. So
Yeah, yeah.
on cable, our downstairs neighbors stream.
Okay.
Like we'd be like, I'm pretty much the only hockey guy here. Like, couple like I'm if you think I'm a bandwagon, like they're like, maybe the couple will get into it, but we'll watch it if Mike's has it on.
Right,
So
right, right.
like when they scored the other night, I was like, yes, like that. And then like 5 seconds
Yeah.
later, we have the windows open, you can cheer. So like it was
Yeah.
actually reacted at the same time as them this time because now I'm sure.
That's what I thought. I didn't know if you had your phone audio on. That was like
No,
an actual
I'm
like
literally at
live noise. Yeah.
windows here, and getting blasted because I don't feel like wearing a tank top.
I have them. That's how my apartment is. I'm also sitting on like the pleather chair here. It's just it's heating up fast. That's why I had the tank out. But yeah, again, I kept my poker face there. I was just like, I
Oh,
got quiet. That probably gave it away. But yeah,
yeah, it was like okay, like time to pay attention to the phone. But yeah, Marshawn just scored a goal 2-2. I know you're listening to this game's probably over, but again, but like I mentioned, a lot of the same people putting the pucks in the net between Hollis two, Marshawn
hmm
Hollis two, DeBruskus two.
hmm yeah,
So it
yeah, absolutely. It's
again,
it's almost like
I
it.
think maybe like Lazar or someone on the deeper line may have scored the second goal that night, but yeah, that's probably the one thing that's a little concerning the Bruins and kind of like the bottom, the last line
Yeah.
has been a liability.
hmm
Like I think Lazar only had like and like Crowley only had like 8 minutes on ice the other night.
Yeah, I think it's funny because then we'll obviously get to them in a little bit, but it's almost like the other Boston team playing in the playoffs right now. Just as far as like the top heaviness of their roster, you're only really getting scoring of the top guys. Not quite as extreme, but
And like the
yeah. So,
defense is definitely showing its youth and
hmm hmm
was on, got injured in the first game, so now we rely more on Clifton and Miller to get in those three deep pairing. So
yeah, yeah, and it hasn't. You haven't seen too much of him, but it's still. When I saw Charo wearing red the other night, it really threw me off. I was like, "What am I looking at right
and
now?"
honestly,
Not
it's
even just yeah.
I
So
mean the
good.
move was worth it. He's been kind of been their liability just because he's pretty slow and we have some pretty quick
Yeah,
forwards. Like you got to hide him when like
yeah.
the fourth line comes out for the Bruins. Though speaking of defensemen, McAvoy was amazing the other night. He was a +4.
hmm Yeah. Now he's clearly again. He's with especially with Charagon, he's the guy leading that defense. And are we gonna get a hook here? I saw that I think the Capitals were calling for a delayed game because the puck might have made it outside, but looked like what's happening at the stoppage here could just be nothing. Yeah, no, I don't even mean like oh it hurts like Charles dominating. It's just like the straight up the look of it. Like I'm just
Yeah,
seeing him wearing those colors and everything. It's probably gonna look like the ones they would show like the Patrick Ewing and the Sonics, like one of those pictures. Just looks so weird. But yeah, it looks like there might have just been nothing there. I'm not seeing too much on the
starting to flip away. And like just
yeah
like
yeah.
another
Let them
here was that Grizzlick had 2 assists, but it was like a 0 on the game. So he was definitely just kind of a roller coaster night for him. I feel like he was either
yeah
he got pinched on like one of the plays and then
yeah
he messed up defense. I just know there's a pretty bad pinch the other night. I thought it was him, but I knew like he was definitely out there on some
right
Capitals goals, but he kind of made up for it, kind of adding on to that.
yeah yeah absolutely
Because what's the pairings again? I believe on the D it's McAvoy and Grizzlick, Carlo, Riley, and then now it's Clifton and Miller.
I'll take your word for it. That sounds right to me.
Yeah, I think I checked the lines in just because it started in game 2 because I know they did a lot of changes after game 1. Like I said, because Lazan went out and I think like Coyle and like was playing a wing and now he's back to centering the DeBrusque line. So
yeah, and I know they showed the pairings usually before the game. I was in the kitchen cooking, so I had it on the display, but I wasn't
Jack
locked in on
Gritty
the
tweets
lineup.
out like that's what I keep up with.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. But yeah, again, kind of a hard fought game too. We're getting a very similar game 3 where just under 6 minutes away. A lot can happen in that time, but if results held, we would be on to our third straight overtime game. So we'll obviously keep an eye on that throughout the podcast here. But yeah, this one, the first one, the first game, going by the clock that has entered game 3 here. Just kind of looking across the league again. I know we've had different start times here. Like I said,
Also, one last point
oh
about
yeah, if you had something else there, Mike. Sorry,
you just gotta stay out of the box. And like you said, like a lot of 4-on-4s the other night.
Yeah,
Definitely failed on them. And then I think the entire first and second period, I thought we were on the kill. And I think I think it was their second goal they scored. I think the first one was on the power play by Ovechkin. The second one was like after a long kill, they were able to put it in. And like Marshall, like unsportsmanlike, so like I know that proves he's in the game. He literally just scored a goal, and like kind of like might bring the best out of him, but you just gotta tinker it back one notch, I'd say.
Yeah, I know, Mike. That brings up a good point before you move on to the rest of the league. Yeah. Well, that brings a good point kind of before we go on to the rest of the league here is that I noted the 4-on-4s, but then even spilling into this game, I just don't know what we've seen even strength like. I feel like it's been maybe 30% of the series we've been on even. I feel like every time at least one team has someone in the box. Like it just seems like it's been happening. I mean, this period seems a little less, but I think there's even still been a couple already in the third period here. So just been a very strange series as far as, again, a lot of both sides, a lot of, I don't want to say errors, but like, again, a lot of penalties being called, both ways. I'm not even saying, it's unfair one way or the other. It's just, they're just getting called across the board. Yeah, been a very strange series. Not a lot of 5-on-5 being played, but again, about 5 minutes left in the third here. We'll keep track while we're recording, but kind of as I was leading to before, just looking around the rest of the league, we'll start, I guess, with the other Eastern Division matchup going on. Pittsburgh and the Islanders both tied at 1. We have game 3 tomorrow night there, so good to see a competitive matchup on that front. And again, Mike, feel free to chime in with any notes you have.
Yeah, and I know I gave some notes after game 1 with Palmieri going off. Again, Celtics being on, didn't really watch much of that game last night. Just on Twitter, it seems like even despite the win, Jari's glove is a little bit weak. So I think all 5 of the Islanders goals through 2 games have been on his glove side. So that if Bruins get there, it'd be a point of weakness. So put that in the old ticket file if it's Bruins and Penguins move on to the next round.
Yeah. And then hopping over to the Central Division, we'll start with the game that is being played right now, actually. Carolina and Nashville. Carolina leads that series 1-0. Rod Brindamer's crew. I know the PNC Arena was rocking last night. I saw some of the highlights they were showing on the intermission report here. They are also currently leading at the end of the first period 1-0. Again, versus Nashville, trying to get that 2-0 lead there.
Yeah, it seemed like Nashville kind of hung around a lot on Monday during game 1, and just like they just couldn't go all 3 periods. And then I just think they're going to get overmatched by the talent of the Carolina crew, and this one might be a short series.
Yeah, and speaking of short series, Mike was big on the Panthers, and again, a lot can happen in a series, but Tampa Bay taking that 2-0 lead in game 3 tonight.
Was that a post shot? I think the Capitals managed the post. I think the way I mentioned it, and once I actually saw what was happening, I was like, oh God, I made a mistake. Because I was like, oh yeah, I think they're getting maybe Kucherov back, but I forgot there was Kucherov and Stamkos. They're getting their whole band back together. Like, oh, it's hard to go back to back, especially in a shortened, they just did bubble and had immediately start in January. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be extra tough. But if the guys, if they're in third place without a couple of their top scorers and they're gonna be fully rested, they're pretty dangerous. So that game on Sunday night was pretty wild. Bodies everywhere, a lot of back and forth. Huberdeau was going off for the Panthers, but I think once they lost that game in the last minute, and I thought that was their game they needed to win, even though they had home ice. So I think that one was a short series as well.
Yeah, and again, it's just something too. I know it's hard to repeat, but I'm like, all right, I think at least first round there. Maybe again if again results hold that it's so early in both of these series, especially the Carolina one. But like if they did meet, that's a squad that I think could potentially give them some trouble there, just because again they seem like they've been on. They've been around the last few years. Obviously, they had the deeper run, 2 years back against the Bruins. So again, a little bit more experience than maybe Florida has on that front. But just kind of going elsewhere around the league, hopping over to, we'll go out west first because the North is kind of the last one to get started here. Colorado, the President's Cup winners this year, they have a 1-0 series lead against St. Louis. That's another game that is happening tonight with game 2.
Yeah, I think Bennington kind of stood on his head in that first period, and they're still down 1-0. And I think I stopped paying attention and went to bed during that game, and
Yeah,
it was a 4-1 final. So I think
right.
it's pretty tough for the Blues.
Yeah, it's been tough to kind of keep an eye on the rest of the happenings here between the Bruins being on Monday night and then obviously the Celtics having their playing game last night. But yeah, so obviously 1-0 series lead there. And then the Knights and Wild are now tied with game 3 tomorrow night. I think that's one that I kind of want to tune in a little bit more for. It seems like it has the potential to go 7 there and be a really entertaining series.
Yeah, I think I went to bed like halfway through that second period and it was still 0-0. I'm like, is there ever going to be a regulation goal? Because remember the first game ended up 1-0.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it seemed like the Knights kind of took over with a nice 3-1 victory last night. So
yeah, able to tie that one up again. Game 3 tomorrow night. And then finally, North, they're just about ready to get going here. They had the weird happenings with the Canucks and Flames kind of having to finish off. I think they played this afternoon, weirdly enough.
yeah, I think they were doing day games just to
get out of the way of everything happening tonight. So
hockey Twitter is them.
Is hockey Twitter what?
Oh, it was on Sunday. It was like NHL Network. It was like right after that, like not Penguin game, the Panther Lightning game. It was like, do you guys like this hockey so much? Tune in for Flames Canucks, and everyone was like bullying the heck out of them, like
just like roasting it. Yeah,
like that dragon meme where like they're all like stuff from like one guy's going.
Oh, and the one the like crazy guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
god. Like the 3 games. So it was like the Penguin game, the Knights game, Lightning game,
Flames Canucks. Yeah.
They're being
definitely threw me off on Sunday. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll have Winnipeg and Edmonton starting tonight, actually, and then Montreal and Toronto are the final series to kick off tomorrow night. So we'll have the Canadians will finally, not just the Canadians, but the Canadian people will finally get their teams into the mix starting tonight and tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see. Obviously, again, what happens. Toronto was obviously kind of the class of the division this year. More of an iconic original 6 matchup going on, obviously, with them in Montreal, but obviously have Connor McDavid in that Winnipeg and Edmonton series as well, so could potentially be a good one there to watch as well. But yeah, again, at very different points here, depending on what series you're looking at. Again, the Bruins are in the middle of game 3 here, and Montreal and Toronto don't kick off till tomorrow night. So I'm sure we'll have to even out eventually, but again, very different points. And I don't know, hockey is the one that it probably has. It's tough to compare. I mean, because football is one game and baseball, but it's just like just going straight up against basketball. And again, I lean more towards the basketball side, but the first round, it's not even close. Hockey's better because there's way more series. Like you'll get your sweeps here and there, sometimes weird ones, especially the Lightning getting swept 2 years ago. But it definitely has the most potential for game 7s at the first round, no question. So
yeah, definitely enjoy the nonstopness of hockey. And
yeah, sorry, did your eyes light up on that Tuca save?
Yeah,
where he was like out, and then it was a good one. So
1 minute remaining. Oh, Chara, Jesus.
Oh, but so
I guess we
probably just
last 50 seconds before we switch over to.
So we'll just filibuster till we get to the intermission here, and then we can switch over to hoops here. But no, I totally agree. It's just like it's so fast paced. It's just like I forget. There's 16 teams going on, and really, again, the best thing about hockey, you kind of get in baseball too, but it's just like there's no one where I think it would be a complete and utter shock if they won, just because of what we've seen in the past. I mean, we saw with St. Louis just 2 years ago. So maybe some of those teams have snuck in with bad divisions.
Winning 2012 was an 8 seed.
Yeah. And again, I know this year's a little different because there were maybe some good teams, maybe like like the Flyers or the Rangers, who maybe should have got in over some teams that were in crappier
Yeah, they
divisions.
kind of.
But
I mean, you could argue that was because they had to play us four all year, but like points wise, they
yeah,
didn't have it. So
yeah. So yeah, that will shot went right off the crossbar there. So yeah, keep an eye on here. We'll see if anything happens before we
oof.
head to the intermission. I think we might be more caught up now, Mike.
No, that was a replay. I saw that in the post.
Oh, okay. So, but yeah, definitely can be very entertaining. Good to see the game back in Boston. We'll have full crowd soon. Apparently next Saturday night. So
Chucky going full send.
yeah, he definitely did. It's funny too. So before we hop out, we did reach intermission, so we do have our third straight overtime game for the Caps and Bruins here. But I was actually on the phone with our dad the other night. He brought up a good point for whatever series the Red Sox have next weekend. Friday night's going to be like
That's right.
12,000, and then Saturday is going to be full capacity or whatever it is. So, or 12%. Yeah, I can't remember.
That's like even just like being like, oh, like you can't go to a bar on a Friday night, but you can on a Saturday night.
Yeah, the whole thing seemed to escalate quickly. Not to get into that whole debate here. I mean, I'm all for hopefully everything works. I'm rooting for everything working, but it seemed like they were like, oh, Fenway full capacity August 1st. Just kidding, May 29th. But yeah, I don't know how much Memorial Day played into that. But yeah, at that point, just started on Friday. But anyway, we were able to filibuster enough to get us to the next topic here. So we're gonna hop over to the NBA and Mike, raise the banner in the Garden. Play in game. Inaugural 7-8 playing game championship Boston Celtics here.
Playing Tatum.
Jason played. Nah, it doesn't quite work. But anyway, Celtics clinched the 7th seed last night. I meant to put this note on here too, Mike, but I'm just going to start with this. What a dry and quiet and church-like atmosphere that was happening in this broadcast last night.
Oh, Marv Albert saying that.
All-time, yeah, go ahead.
Marv Albert saying that Bradley Beal is younger than Jason Tatum.
Of course.
I think he called Neesmith smart 15 times. Like, you think they might be exaggerating? It might not be.
Wasn't pretty everyone besides like Fournier basically Marcus Smart? Like anyone like not light skinned or whatever, but
get it. Like his number ends 26, 36, maybe, but like
that one's probably the numbers probably do get confusing. Yeah, but
like, it was like one.
It was just.
It was one time like you see Smart bringing up the ball, pass it across the court to Neesmith, and he was like, "And Smart misses the three." It's like you couldn't like he was like in the game action with the ball second.
Yeah. He's the one that passed it up. Yeah. But yeah, and again, Marv Albert's obviously been around a long time and called a lot of great games, but it's just like, dude, I think you maybe should have hung it up a little earlier. I mean, I'm glad this is the swan song here, but it's not even just Marv who was getting a lot of things wrong again. It just seemed quiet. Grant wasn't bringing much. I think it's not a good pairing. I think Grant can be good, but like with a guy like Jim Nance, you know what I mean? Who's so like energetic. You have Raftery there. Like that's a good trio, but like him trying to basically carry the team with Marv, I don't think it's a good pairing.
Well, I think that comes into effect because I believe Chris Webber just left TNT like a week ago, and it was usually Marv with Webber. So they just had to throw in Grant Hill out of nowhere.
Which, to be fair, I mean, and again, we know the Chris Webber joke about him never stop talking, but you could have used that last night more than what you get off of Grant Hill. So, yeah. Anyway, just again a bit of a dead broadcast. And
well, that's the thing. Like I know, you're listing all these good notes from the Celtics. It's just I just they won. I still don't care.
Yeah, it was tough getting in the phone. Was behind on my phone. It's just it wasn't drawing me in with the energy, especially in the first half. It was a little easier in the second half. I was also doing a few things around here, but they were able to kind of go in that run in the third, which is where it seemed like they really picked up. But Mike, we're kind of bearing the lead here. Tatum with a 50 burger. I know you said playoff Tatum here, but I mean it was one thing. I feel like he had a lot of points, and then the next thing I knew, it's oh, he has 48. I'm like, wait, when did that happen? It just seemed like I know he had 31 at one point, but yeah,
the third quarter definitely was the
yeah, but and then Kemba also chipped in with 29 himself, so kind of played the Batman and Robin game there. And on the other side, Beal really struggled to start, and then Russ just looked weird, and then he disappeared. I don't know what happened at one point. And
yeah, because I remember I think he said he had 14 13 rebounds at halftime, and he finished.
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought,
he wasn't in the game in the fourth quarter, right? Or most of it.
yeah, I was like stop paying attention like at that point. I just
Yeah,
it just didn't do it for me. Like I was like, oh, Beal's hurt. I was like, oh, and then it was like the second quarter. I was like, oh, they're probably gonna lose. Like I flipped over to like a baseball game and I missed like the beginning of the run when they went from like down 3.5 to like up 5. I'm like, oh, cool, they're on a run. And they finished the run. I'm like, okay, cool, they won this game. And just like, I don't know, man.
no, I have in the notes here too. I don't know how to feel. Like I said, I just said that looked weird. I know some of the tinfoil hats on the radio today think the Wizards tanked the game. I don't know. Could be the case. I don't think this. I think the Celtics, there might have been. They're just like, we can't. I think in their minds they're like, we can't lose again. Like just for like the negative. Like they're like, even though we match up better against the Sixers, I mean they're probably gonna lose either one. Let's be real. But I just think they couldn't afford to mess around. They're just like, for their like PR spin, whatever it is, they had to win that game.
It's like we finished as a 7 seed. We're playing the team we get as a 7 seed.
Right, exactly. It's just like, yeah, if
Even
this
when
tournament didn't happen, this is where we'd be.
yeah. Yeah,
The Wizards had an extra regular season.
Wizards outside of Robin Lopez, I don't think the Wizards really played in basketball. Davis Bertans was just running around. He like died for a second, and the Wizards just didn't care. They hit like 3 threes out of like 21. Like I realized he teamed up like 21. So yeah, it was a game of basketball that happened. That was both games last night.
So the sad thing is, it was the better game, and we'll get to that in just a sec here. But yeah, again, don't know how to feel. I almost wish the season just ended, and I'm kind of biting my tongue now because I think all year I didn't think it was going to get this bad. So I was like, even when things were looking at best okay, but mostly kind of bad, I was like, all right, let's just lose to the Nets and I'll be happy. I didn't think it was gonna be in the first round. They were looking at like the 3 or 4. They were at the 4, and I was like, I thought Brooklyn was gonna get the 1. I was like, all right, if you lose in the second round of Brooklyn, obviously best case conference finals to Brooklyn, either one of those, like that's as good as you're gonna do this year anyway. Yeah, not in the first round. I think I texted this last night too. I'm like, it's like winning, but then it's like, okay, what do you win? It's like, oh, a free pass to death row. Like you're about to go out for execution right now. I think they'd be lucky if they win one game this series. Again, I feel a lot differently if Jalen were playing. I think they'd have a chance to win a couple. Maybe give push the Nets a little bit. But with him out, it just shortens other guys to play more minutes. It's basically like you're playing 2-man ball with Kemba and Tatum for majority of the game, especially because Smart hasn't been that good offensively this year. So I don't know. It's going to be painful to watch, man. It's just it's going to feel different. I think I'll get a little bit more into it because it's an actual series. The star powers there. I'm still not expecting much out of our side, but it's like at least that's a series. Whereas last time it was just a weird like extra game essentially tacked on, and there was no consequence. Like they weren't gonna lose they weren't gonna go home last night essentially. So,
hey, they want a series.
A 1-game series. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, raise the banner, put it hang it in the rafters. Banner 17.5. We'll put it up there, but. Yeah, again, just a weird feeling. We'll see how it goes. They have a date on Saturday night primetime. We'll get to the whole schedule in later on here, but that leaves again the Wizards, who did lose last night, but again, since it was the 7-8 game, they have an extra life, and they're gonna have a game against the Pacers, winner take all for that 8 seed, and a day with the Sixers here, and that's because the Pacers ran the Hornets out of the building last night. I don't know if they did not look like they wanted any part of the playoffs last night, which is weird with a young, you would think, hungry team in Charlotte down
there. Yeah, I think Miles Bridge put his best. He just said they got their asses whooped and they just weren't ready for the prime time. I know being without Hayward the last couple of weeks and LaMelo definitely being limited didn't help, but they just weren't playing good basketball down the stretch, and it just showed at the final game last night.
Plus, you mentioned,
shout out to Sabonis, he went off. So,
yeah, I mean it's weird because obviously Sabonis is an animal. He had almost a triple double, but I mean, outside of him, they're missing a lot of guys. I know Jeremy Lin's been out, Miles Turner's still out. So yeah, just like again, kind of a beaten up Pacers team. Not that the Hornets were, but I mean the Hornets were. I mean they were like the 6th spot not too long ago in the playoffs. They obviously fell all the way down to 10, and now they're on the outside looking into the playoffs, and they'll end up back in the bottom half of the lottery odds here. But so yeah, that sets up tomorrow night Wizards Pacers play-in game. Thursday for that final spot. Again, winner faces the Sixers. But yes, and then are playing games tonight. Gonna try to keep me up late. The Spurs and Grizzlies are on right now. This is kind of a again the Mike Francesa who cares game because I would be shocked if either one of these teams made it. I think the loser of tonight's game is just going to win their next game. But again, I threw it on earlier during one of the intermissions. I probably could have done so now. But all right, we have Grizzlies leading by 7. That's I think what most people expect. I think the Grizzlies are going to fall a game short of the playoffs yet again if they win tonight and have to face either the Warriors or Lakers. But again, that game going on 68-61 with 4:42 left in the third as it stands now. But then kind of the big game on everyone's calendar, really the culmination of the last 2 nights, the biggest game on the calendar. Lakers Warriors. This is where I think the NBA did lucked out the most here with the play-in tournament. I think it's been pretty dull so far in the first 3 games. That's including the Celtics, especially because it didn't turn out to be that great. Neither player on the Warriors really showed up last night. But again, we have Lakers and Warriors at 10 o'clock here. LeBron and AD, Steph Curry, and I guess Draymond in this one. Steph, obviously, end of the year very strong, and I don't know. I just think this is going to go up chalk. I think the Grizzlies are going to hold on tonight, then the Lakers are going to win, and then the Warriors are going to beat the Grizzlies. That's just how I think this is all going to play out.
Yeah, and you're like at the very least, like the Lakers are going to win tonight. Like,
yeah, it pains me to say. I'm actually rooting for the Warriors tonight because,
and even like I wouldn't be like shocked if the Grizzlies could beat the Warriors just because of like you've seen like sometimes they've like beaten good teams, and other times you look at their box score over the course of the regular season, and this random team's beating the Warriors like 83-43, and Steph's just on the bench with a towel. Yeah. It's like
I can see that. It's mostly because I feel bad for the Suns. I'm like, they don't deserve this. This isn't fair. They don't deserve to face the Lakers in the first round. Like I think they could beat Portland, they could beat Dallas, like they could beat a lot of teams. Even I think even Denver, like it's just like the Lakers with again a weird year for them, all these injuries, ending up in this 7th spot. So that's why for me, I'm like it'd be real juicy if the Warriors, because that'd still be good series, but I think the Suns could win it, and then you get the 8 seed Lakers versus the Jazz. Oh man, I would eat that up all day. I think that'd be awesome to kind of see Jazz Nation maybe suffer an A1 upset there. But yeah, so this is what I'm rooting for. I don't think it's going to go that way, but should be a good one tonight. It's tough because it is that 10 p.m. tip, but I feel like I still have like PTSD from the Warriors 73-9 and Lakers or the Kobe's last game night where I went to bed too early and I like missed all this stuff. So now I'm like, oh no, if I go to bed, I'm going to miss it all. So we'll see how I feel. But if it was any other game, I wouldn't. But I'm like, this is like.
I don't think I'm going to make it up to this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. I'll probably watch. I mean, we're going to be probably recording up until tip off anyway, so I'll probably at least watch the first half, see how it's going. But we'll get into bed. Maybe we'll leave it on. If I fall asleep, I fall asleep. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. The plan just doing nothing.
Mike, you gotta get the energy up, man. I'm like,
playing just not doing it for me.
I agree. It's stupid. It's really, really stupid. I do agree, but it's just I'm like it's the Lakers war. I don't know. There's some intrigue there, like I said, because again, I want the Suns to have.
It's just a regular season game. Like,
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I know you're talking me out of it, but I mean, it's gonna go. I just wish it was 9:30. You know, like.
Well, I mean, I think this isn't an apples to apples conversion comparing a team going for a record and an all-time great playing his last game to 2 teams playing that.
I know. It's just I think because they were both involved in that. Yeah, they're both involved. No, it makes no sense in my mind. It's not near the magnitude of that. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we have tonight. And also you get to Suns, Jazz after this tournament plays out. That'll obviously all happen before our next show on Sunday. But we do have the I just had it up in a second here. They did announce Saturday's schedule, which I think makes sense because I think they were just saving because it made sense whoever won last night would still get 3 days off before Saturday. So we might as well throw one of them in to even up the schedule so you didn't just have 4 5s and 3 6s. But it'll start with a rematch of last year's second round series. We'll have the Heat and Bucks at 2 o'clock. Then we have also another rematch from a lot of rematches of recent years here. So again, look at that game winner against the Clippers last year. So Clippers Warriors at 4:30. Then we'll have prime times. What did I say?
Warriors.
Oh my God, yeah, my bad. They're still in my mind here. Yes, so Mavericks and Clippers at 4:30. Again, Celtics prime time with the big three of the Nets at 8:30 or 8 o'clock here, and then the nightcap being Portland versus Denver, that being the 3-6 matchup there as well. So we'll wait to see what the schedule looks like Sunday. Obviously, in some sort of the what am I getting at here? The Knicks and Hawks, the Sixers versus the winner of Wizards Pacers, and then the other side will have again whoever the tournament is, the Jazz hosting one game and the Suns hosting another. So that'll we'll see. That's what we'll see here. But yeah, that's what we have there for the NBA. We're getting to Mike's least hated tournament ever, the the play-in tournament of the NBA here. But just kind of combing through the crap till we get to the real playoffs that start on Saturday. So now why don't we hop over to some baseball? And again, we just spoke on Sunday, so not a lot of games have happened. Obviously, Monday kind of a lighter day, kind of full slate yesterday, and we're in the middle of it tonight. But we'll start with the Red Sox and then kind of a few headlines that have happened from around the league since then. Really just kind of a tale of two nights for the Red Sox. They lost 8-0 last night, even though, again, Eddie Rodriguez was on the mound, but got shut out. I know Ryu pitched for Toronto last night, Mike, but looking, again, I know we had it recently, looking better tonight, 6-1 in the top of the sixth versus the somewhere in Florida Blue Jays versus the Toronto Blue Jays. What is it?
Dunedin.
Is that one of like the spring training sites or something?
Yeah.
It's Toronto's. It makes sense. Yeah. Why not, right? Seems like the best solution for them if I could be the Buff Jays again, which was entertaining last year. But
I think that hopes to
be in Toronto.
Eventually get to Toronto, so
yeah. They're just waiting it out in springtime. I mean, hey, hang on, Florida, why not? But yeah, so yeah, when
in April.
Buffalo, yeah, good point. I mean, yeah, because at least the season last year was July to September, and then they had the early playoff run. But yeah, so again, just kind of Toronto kind of dominating last night, Boston doing so tonight. So again, not too much there. Again, just a split so far.
Some ding dong.
They have
return of Kike.
The return of Kike, which is good to see. But yeah, so in the middle of game 2 now, I'm assuming is this a 3-game set, Mike?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't know if it was like one of these weird 2-gamers, but yeah, so finishing up the 3-game set tomorrow. Looks like that will be a rubber match. And then Sox going down to Philly for a weekend set down there. They'll have a prime time, if you want to call it, game going against the Celtics on Saturday night, Friday night, and then also 1 p.m. on Sunday. And they're kind of just going around the league here, and Mike, feel free to chime in at any point as the third period has started here for the Bruins. No score yet, so already lasted longer than the one the other night. But this Tony La Russa thing, Mike, which is a little crazy, and I think our guy Dallas Braden picked him to be manager of the year. And I might have done the I don't know if I did the same.
No, I think you said no, but you were like, I don't hate it.
Yeah. Okay. I forget who I did say. Anyway, I don't even know if we might not on manager anyway, but I didn't hate the take because I was like, you know what, I think it's going to somehow work. Chicago's a good team, and it still might work through all this. But
no, I mean they have the best run. I think maybe the best third and run differential in the AL. So
yeah, but man, is the guy out of touch with today's game, and I mean they still exist, so he's not the only one. I can't really single him out, but again, we got some of this last year with the whole Tatis thing versus the Rangers, and it's kind of tense. So, our guy Williams was on the mound the other night for Minnesota, and yeah, and Mercedes took him deep on a 3-0 pitch, and then of course that turned into a whole thing. La Russa said he gave him the take sign. Then there was retribution last night, right, from Minnesota side, and
yeah,
La Russa said he had no problem with it. It's just it's just like I don't know how you can. It just sucks because at the end of the day, you're going to play your game as a player, but just like I'm like I don't know about going to battle with this guy. He doesn't fully have our backs here.
Yeah, it stinks because like Mercedes is a 28-year-old rookie. He's been playing minor leagues for so long, and like in the way that he is, like when he get called up, like he doesn't, not going to get paid until like he's in his mid-30s.
Yeah,
he has to put up all the stats he possibly can.
Right.
who cares? It's a 15-4 game. He's just trying to have fun. Like it seems like it's like a. I've heard like hitters hate the pitcher position player at bats regardless. It's just awkward.
Yeah.
What would happen if I think I saw this analogy. It's like, oh, if, let's say like back in the day when like Tiger was up like 17 strokes in the Masters, like should he like triple bogey the last hole like on purpose?
I know, yeah. When he said he sinks a birdie putt, everyone just pelts him with golf balls. I saw that analogy too on Twitter last night, Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like again, and I'm not even saying like because okay, I'm gonna go kind of two different ways with this. First, on the retribution thing, I mean, it's kind of messed up. I mean, you obviously want to just like hit someone in the butt or something, but even I think that's more like a dirty play. You know, someone goes spikes up into second base.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm fine with it. But like pimping a home run or like it's just like
Don't go down 15-4.
yeah. Also, these are grown men. Okay, this isn't in little league or even I'll even give you high school, maybe even college to a certain degree. These are professionals. They're getting paid to play baseball. I'm sorry if your feelings are a little hurt. And I'm not even saying that happened with Minnesota. I think it was. I mean, it happened with somewhat clearly if there was retribution there. But it's like, come on, I've no sympathy for that in any sport with running up the score in the pros. It's ridiculous. Like you're all professionals. You get paid to play this game. Grow up. You can take it. It's fine. It's just. I think it's just a ridiculous argument.
Yeah, and even just the fact that, like even like players in the White Sox, like Mercedes, like like nothing but smiles, like he like clearly between Larissa and then Lance Lynn, who pitched the game on Tuesday, came out and was like, I have no problem with what Yermin did, and then Larissa was like, I disagree. I have an office. He has a
I saw that too.
My door is open. Like, dude,
yeah,
yeah.
It's awful. It's crazy.
And I like how it's just not everyone the generation. I was listening on the radio today and they played Castiglione and he was like angry at the other way. He was angry that people were getting mad. So it's not all old people, which is nice.
He's like against La Russa.
This guy's 28 years old. He finally made the show. He's just trying to have a little fun. God,
well, that's the thing too. Yeah, you gotta look at it from like, it takes you this long to get to the majors, and someone's like, "Well, I don't want you to really bat." It's like, well, I don't know how many of these I'm gonna get. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like if I see a meatball coming out of the plate like on a 3-0 pitch and a blowout, I'm swinging for the fences.
He's been a great story, but how many times have you seen these like guys come out of nowhere, have a hot April, cool off, and they're here again?
Yeah. Also, I don't care if it is Fernando Tatis Jr. like last year. It's like, you know what? I mean, that's before he got paid. I mean, he was again on that rookie deal. You
moment like that, he's on the cover of a video game and got a contract. So I think you like
yeah. Also, long-term Hall of Fame stuff. Everything counts. You know, it's just it's just ridiculous.
You never know.
Yeah, if he didn't take 4 3-0 pitches, he might be in the 700 club. But yeah, it's ridiculous. I think again, just pitchers gotta, or even just teams that are like this. I mean, there's a lot of like outrage and people being offended by stuff that they have a reason to be offended. Like this is not. Come on, like this is a game. All right, like let's not.
And I'd say the worst part about it is that it took away from an incredible game of baseball last night.
Okay, let's hear it.
4-0.
Yeah,
I think in like the 5th inning, like Sano hit a home run to make it 4-1. Then this whole Duffy threw behind him fiasco happened.
Yeah,
and then I think the next inning, in the 7th. Sano hit a home run. They rallied in the 8th, 4-2 game, run around first. Sano hits a 3rd home run. Twins win in 9 innings. So like Miguel Sano, it's 3 home runs in a game. They come back.
It gets buried. Yeah, it's buried.
No one's talking about it.
Yeah, that's the thing that's that sucks. Doesn't really suck about the situation, but it's tough because again, La Russa is like going all this old school stuff. But I mean, it's working right now. I mean, I think it's mostly the roster he has with him and.
Yeah, I think,
but it's just like can't really do anything about it now if he's in first place.
Might be more of a Tim Anderson leaving that team because he was talking that crap.
I love Tim Anderson.
No, if you watch the clip of Duffy like getting ejected after, like Tim Anderson was like at the top of the dugout, like talking crap. So
yeah, no, it's awesome. I love Tim Anderson, but yeah, just again another old school, new school thing, and it's just like I don't know, you just got to get over it. Like guys are gonna do what they're gonna do. Just
I don't know, like think like, oh, we need people like this in baseball. It's like, do we really though?
Who?
Like, oh, we need like a couple old farts just to like get the narrative.
Oh, to keep, yeah, I see. We're talking about the same program here. I see the point, but also it's like, or we can just get rid of them all. We can all just have fun.
Yeah, and like
Uh,
maybe at least be like an analyst instead of like the manager of this team. Like,
yeah,
come
exactly.
on.
Yeah, I'd rather have that from a radio personality or a TV personality than that. Yeah, the manager of the team not having his guys back there, but because I think even last year with Tinkler, I think it was a little. He kind of played it a little more in the middle. Like he didn't fully have Tatis. Like he's like, yeah, there's takes up, but like he didn't like full,
Yeah, he was like,
full
yeah,
on
like
like
I told him to
I
take
don't know.
it,
It's
but he wasn't like that was disrespectful. Like he was like, yeah, told him to
yeah,
take it.
exactly.
Like I would have, but no.
Also, one more thing here. If I'm on the losing end here, I think I'd be. Wouldn't you be more offended if someone like took it easy on you? It was like, no, like,
Yeah.
let's play. All right. Like, I don't care if I'm a first baseman pitching. Like, no, if you want to take me deep, but don't just like take
I
a
mean, like, in
meatball
Little
right
League, I
to my
kind of
plate.
liked it because like my team's getting crushed. I'm like, okay, I'm 8 years old. I want to get home and have dinner.
Yeah, yeah,
But
right.
I'm an athlete. Like I know you're like, okay, let's wrap it up. But at the same time, you're getting paid like hundreds.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, exactly.
that's something you got to put up with a couple games here and there.
Absolutely. So yeah, again, I'm sure there'll be more of these debates as the season goes on here, but just actually staying in AL Central. I know you said it was a crazy game last night, but we had another no-hitter, Mike. They seem to be happening every week now, really losing its value with seems to be, again, we've heard it all with the nerds and everything, and we're seeing kind of a all or nothing approach to the plate, a lot of home runs and a lot of strikeouts that are happening. And Turnbull, pitcher for the Tigers last night, able to get again another hitter. Is that 4 on the year?
5.
5. Oh my god! It would.
And crazy, you see that crazy stat I sent you from ESPN? How Jason Tatum has 3 50-point games, and there's been no hitters on 2 of the 3. Like ESPN was like,
Yeah.
like wild stats. Like so, 66% of the time, like it's not that
I
great.
think it's pretty. I mean, like again, he's only scored it 3 times. There'll be 5 no
It was
hitters, and
3 out of
they
3.
lined up
I
twice.
think it would
So
be crazy, but like, not like
I trust me. They have some weird stuff that they put out there. That one I didn't have too much of a problem with.
well, yeah. When it's guys like Wade Miley and like this Turnbull guy, like in my own league, I have Justin Dunn, who is the opposing pitcher. I'm like, okay, like not the best
Yeah.
pitcher on the best team. Like you might be able to get a win here. Like this Turnbull guy is something special. And
He was something special last night. Also, I love how everyone's piling on the Mariners. They've got no hit by the Orioles and the Tigers.
yeah, well, John Means is filthy. Like that's like the
I do love Means.
Means and Rodon are like the legit ones for me.
Yeah,
Eileen Turnbull, not really, and then Musgrove. I actually don't know much of that though. Now it was a Friday night, like at 9:00.
Wait, are there more than 5? I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I feel like we've gone through a lot.
It's Musgrove, which I'm like, I don't know enough about. That was the first one. Rodon. And then I think was Means the third. Yeah, Means the third. And
Miley,
Wade Miley, and then now Turnbull.
And Turnbull. I thought there was someone else.
No, I did like 2 legit, 2 can get out of me.
All right.
Musgrove, I don't really know about. So
I'm actually not even thinking of Bumgarner, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll throw that. Going out west here, just kind of again as far as storylines go, like Shotani's just is Showtime. Showtime is doing it all at the plate and on the mound. Just absolutely dominating.
I have to get it done now that Mike Trout's at 6 to 8 weeks with that calf strain.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It's incredible. Like that home run he hit like last night was like at his eyeballs.
Yeah,
like launch it. But back to that no hitter argument. I had to say.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hop over too fast.
No, just one thing. Article on ESPN today. Tim Kirkson just roasting this movement.
Oh yeah, let's hear it. What was
the title of the article? Is the worst letter in baseball? K.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah,
it's bad.
And if you just look at some of the stats, like I think like 27% of at bats are strikeouts now, and like it's like launch angles, and like I think I heard this like story in the pros where there was like an 0-2 count and a pitcher forced to pop up in the minor leagues, and the third baseman caught it, and the pitcher was like, "Hey, like next time, can you just like drop it because I need every single strikeout I can if I want to get called up."
Oh my god!
Because that's like what they're teaching. Like now, there's like swing coaches with kids, just like
so. Basically, yeah, if you're a hitter, if you're a hitter, it's about the home runs, and if you're a pitcher, it's about the strikeouts.
Yeah, they talked to like a bunch of like older people, and it was like, yeah, like there's no shortening up anymore. Like if it's 0-2.
Like shit, like
If it's
choking up.
0-2
You're
count,
still.
you're giving the same swing as 0-0 or 3-0.
Jeez, that just sounds
And
insane to me. It
and
really does.
and even just the fact that there's people throw so hard now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like the average, like in 2012, like the average fastball was like 88. Now it's like 94. And
Jesus.
I like I
Well,
like
88 also seems low, but
it's
still.
it's only a couple miles an hour, but like the difference between like
Oh no, on average 6, that's massive.
yeah, it's like I've heard like 88 something, 95. It's like you can see
Who's
some.
throwing these? Dan Heron?
No, I like 95. You can see some seams, and then when it gets to
Yeah.
100, it's just a white blur. So it's
Yeah.
like they like people just have to sit on fastballs now too. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, like I'm just gonna give my biggest whiff and then maybe adjust to a curveball. So interesting read, and it kind of was nice like seeing.
No, I mean, yeah, I might try to check that out because it's like, yeah, I mean, you don't see a lot of like, yeah, rallies. And trust me, I'm a big home run guy, a big strikeout guy. But it's like, can we get something in the middle, like some rallies that happen, some nice, get pump a quarter of the merry-go-round, as they said in summer catch, get the get some doubles going here. But
Only Xander who gets like 300 on like 0-2 counts. So.
Yeah, love Xander. But yeah, going back to Ohtani over here, just like, yeah, again, so he's like, again, after Sunday, he was leading the league in home runs and I think tied for ERA.
Yeah, definitely still in the league with home runs. Like I know some people like Judge caught him. Jose Ramirez is kind of nipping at the butt, but pretty impressive. He's pitching tonight. Looks like he has 2 earned through 4 innings.
Okay.
Yeah, he got taken out. Yeah, looks like 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned. Looks like he gave up a home run with 2 outs in the 5th, and then took him out right after.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, again, so you could still be throwing some. I was gonna say, yeah, the ERA will go up a little bit there unless he kind of really stretches out this performance. But yeah, he's just been incredible. Again, I always thought he would kind of dominate, maybe at hitting, and didn't know how the pitching would come along. But he's been, again, he's been lights out there as well, as at least this year. And then also more of an image, but I mean, what toughness out of Kevin Pillar the other night, just eating that fastball to the face.
Oh yeah, I think it was like a whistle of a Bruins game. So I was like, oh, I can flip on. I think it was like the Carolina game was playing. Like I'll flip it on for a second, and like I look at my phone now and see what people are talking about, and I see like all like the Mets fans being like, "Is Kevin Pillar dead?" And then I just look over and I just see people just like the grounds crew just putting like fresh dirt
towels
on this giant pile of blood for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and it was a very, very scary image. I mean, his face is really messed up right now, but it really just speaks because I think he showed up. It was Monday night. I think he showed up on Tuesday and was like, "Why aren't I in the lineup?"
Yeah. I did. The best thing I saw on Twitter for that one was like someone commented on the picture of him with like the
gauze on the black eyes. Yeah.
The gauze, and Danny McBride at the end of Pineapple Express sitting at the table with the neck brace, like face all burnt up. That was really good. Also, our guy Karaba said me after a night at a baseball tavern, RIP. But both funny ones there. But yeah, what an animal, just taking out to the face. And it's funny because you think of, again, baseball is such a, like, again, not that like easy on the body, like contact free sport, but like it has one of the scariest plays that can happen in any league. I mean, like I know I get real roughed up in hockey and football, but I mean, I don't know, fastball to the face either as a bat or even more scary as a pitcher on a comeback, or just like, I don't know, that's about as rough as it gets.
Yeah. So I mean, like Pilar was like, I'm more worried about the pitcher that threw it for mentally just thinking about how he hit it.
You could see it right away on.
Yeah. And even like the fact it's like, yeah, like I at least have like some sort of like I clearly didn't on that pitch, but if I get hit in the head again, there's a chance it hits me in the helmet. Where if I come back,
right? Does he have one of these? Does he have one of the flaps or not? He probably will now, but
yeah, I don't think he did. That's the thing. Well, I was actually talking to it was a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to a friend that's not really a big baseball fan, and I had like the socks on. He was like kind of like pooping on, like, so wow, imagine having this giant thing across your face. And it's like, yeah,
like we have for the past year. No, anyway.
Yeah, and then like I showed him the Stanton video. And he was
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay, I understand now. Like I thought it was like a wuss move, but I don't want that.
No, I mean, I think it's definitely a good move. I remember one of the first guys was Terrence Long back in the day. He used to always have that rocket. He was probably the only one in the league that did that. But yeah, no, you see it's much more common these days.
Jed
In
Lowry.
that picture, I kind
Jed
of
Lowry still wears the dual flaps. I know Eck was pooping on him.
yeah. Well, to that, I would almost like Jed's also a switch hitter, right? So
Yeah.
like I'm like, I'm too lazy. I don't want two helmets. Like
I think that's
give me
what
the dual.
Jed Lowry said he's too lazy, and like the fact that like he's barely played the last 2 years. Like,
Yeah. Victorino too.
yeah. But I mean, he's
Yes.
not on. And then like more like active, like because he's
No. I just meant like just like as a switch hitter, I'd be like, yeah, like I'm not packing two helmets. Like, give me the dual flaps. I'll figure it out. But other than that, I know Tatis came off the COVID list. He went 4 for 4 in his return. As you know here, Rockies sucking the road. I think you could have just saved yourself 3 words on the end there. But
they are.
is their home record actually good?
It's 13-12 at home.
Okay, so they're not great at home, but they're way worse on the road. Okay,
I think they have a better record at home than the Sox do.
Not really. For that good on the road?
Yeah, I'll pull up the standings real quick.
Anyway, but also Mike, we had 2 great Don Orsillo calls in the last couple days, last 48 hours.
The Red Sox are 13-12 at home, and so are the Rockies. Meanwhile, on the road,
we're just insanely better on the road.
Meanwhile, on the road, we are 12-8, 12-6. Sorry, about to be 13-6, whereas the Rockies are 2-17.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, they are got off on the road. So we had again 2 great Don calls. First, a walk-off wild pitch last night, which insanity. Glad Dio's on the call for that one. Still miss him.
That's what the runner on second start inning will do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get him over to third.
That was the play-by-play. It was bottom of the order. They just bunted the guy over. Then next thing you know, it was a wild pitch.
Yeah, that'll speed things up for sure. Also, quick update here. Just over 8 minutes left in overtime. Still going. But yeah. Then also to today, how about was it Jake Cronenworth hit inside the park home run?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
No, yeah. Dio with the electric highlights. You gotta love. I love that he's out there in San Diego. He's got some entertainment out there. But I always great to see those on the Twitter feed. Some good Dio calls. But yeah, I think that's basically it for baseball. Again, we're kind of in the playoffs for the other 2 leagues now, and they're kind of just wrapping up, or at least getting to the latter half of month 2 here. So a long way to go on that front.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like we said, Mitch mentioned the Trout injury. Pujols clean up the other night for the.
Oh, Pujols with the Dodgers. I think we missed that last Sunday. It wasn't official till I think Monday, right?
Yeah,
but
was no pen to paper then, but
yeah, just drove across the city essentially.
Yeah, I love hearing that joke. It's like I have my stuff here. Like,
well, you guys should sign me.
Yeah, if you want me, sure, I'll take a shot at it. If not,
like I'm right here. You guys have like 12 injuries. Like, let's just make this happen. Yeah. Then in the play, like we gotta just have pinch hit. It'll all work out. But yeah, so yeah, Pujols there. Yeah, to hit cleanup too, which is like probably the weirdest part about that whole thing. I'm like, oh, we're just gonna get started into cleanup. I know they just have that many injuries, but yeah. So he obviously had a good debut with the Dodgers. Another weird Patrick Ewing on the Sonics type picture. Pujols in the Dodgers uniform, but. And then, sorry, did you just announce that, Mike?
I know not sure we mentioned this on Sunday, but last Thursday, the Mariners called up to, I mentioned Kelenic last week. So
yeah, we did. Yeah, we had
Stanton for the IL and Judge and Vlad Jr. also went off this weekend. So they're both good at baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Other big thing happening this upcoming weekend, we do have the PGA Championship. It's so weird to forget because it used to be the last one of the year, and then is this just always now, or is it only Olympic years? I can never remember.
I think it's always now.
Okay, they just like because then they do like the playoffs. If there's
I think they're trying to add more, like pizzazz,
more to their pathetic stuff.
Yeah.
So that's happening this weekend. I don't know if you have the most recent odds up there, Mike, but
last second reached out to Dave. He's picking Rory, who
our correspondent. Okay,
who is the favorite.
Okay,
going with the second favorite. I didn't really like how much of the Master, but I'm doing a 180 for this one. I like Rahm.
Okay, can you rattle off like the top 5 in ties for me as far as the odds go?
So that's So from Rory Roms plus 1,000 plus 1,200, and then a plus 1,400's all Spieth, Thomas, and DeChambeau. Sorry.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then the next mix is plus 16 to 18, where you have Hovland, DJ, and Shuffle.
Okay.
Then at 25, we have defending champion Morikawa and my boy, Donnie Daniel Berger. And then in like the most notable names are kind of like in the plus 300 to 330.
Good odds for Brooks right now, huh?
I was gonna say, so 300s the Masters champion Matsuyama and Patrick Reed.
Or 3,000.
Yeah, 3,000, and then
Yeah.
3,300s Koepka, Cam Smith, Finau, Webb Simpson.
Interesting. I'll have to think of that.
Plus 4,000.
Zalatoris. I might put some on Brooks and then also go for one a little bit lower too. It might be the way to do it. But yeah, again, always good to have some golf on TV.
I'll probably put a little bit on Rom and maybe like bet the same guys when it comes to matchup bets. I like the matchup bets.
Yeah. So again, should be good weekend. Again, we don't go as in depth. I mean, there's something like the Masters are just
Masters like big,
absolute biggest. But again, another major will be we handed out on Sunday. We'll again be on for kind of more recap of the final round. But again, always good to have as an option. On the background, whatever you're doing. I know there's a lot of other events happening right now, but yeah, that's something going on. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. See who comes out there.
I think I'll be actually swinging some on moving day, which will be nice.
Okay, not bad. Mike heading down the Cape this weekend. We'll try to get out of the links there, and yeah, we'll see what happens. See if there's any surprise cuts, any surprise dark horses that come to the top, and yeah, should be a fun weekend between that and both playoffs for NBA and NHL. And before we wrap up here, Mike, I wanted to just bring up one more thing that wasn't on our outline here. Hoyer? Question mark? What's going on here?
I don't know. It's bad news for one of Newton or Stidham. Don't know who yet. Probably.
Did you see today? Like they plan on cutting. Like they signed him just to like cut him again.
Yeah.
I thought I saw some tweets that it's like they're basically trying to keep him all through camp.
Yeah.
So because he knows the playbook the best, and then Mac to learn all that, and then
Mac 10.
Yeah. Right, and then once they have to make the final cuts, he's just going to be on the way up. I mean, I don't know.
Sure, like I'm not going to get mad about a fourth string quarterback.
Can I just say what? Regardless, I don't want Stidham on this roster. Like it's clear he's not the guy. So like, I mean, what are we doing? Like, I don't want him as a backup. Like, I want one of the other two guys as a backup. Do you agree?
Sorry, I was Pasta almost scored. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with moving on Stidham, but I guess I'd rather, if we're moving on from Cam, I'd rather have someone that's been here a little bit as the backup, at least for this season.
Do you mean if we're moving on from Cam, you'd rather have?
Just keep Stidham and Hoyer.
Oh well, yeah. If you're keeping, I just don't know if you're keeping. Yeah, if you're keeping 3, sure, yeah. But I think if you're keeping 2, I think it just like Mac. I know the offenses are completely different.
Cam will should be on soon with you have Hoyer.
Yeah. I mean, it just sucks because I think that like of those 3 outside of Mac Jones, I think Cam it's unfortunately the best option, but also just again, the offenses are just so different with him and a Hoyer type. So maybe that's an advantage there. Again, we'll have to see how it all shapes out. I just was like, I saw that I'm like, okay, so we're bringing back the exact same group plus Mac. So, yeah, Jesus. So I just wanted to hit on that briefly.
The only comparable quarterback room that might be worse is the Houston one. They just added Jeff Driscoll to the mix tonight. So
with Davis, whatever his name is.
Not Webb. Mills.
No, not Davis. Webb.
Mills.
Davis. Is his name even Davis?
Mills.
Davis. No, what's his first name? David is that? No, that's what I was asking. All right, jeez. No, because I was like, is it Davis Mills? I was like, wait, is his first name even Davis, or am I making that up too? But anyway, but yeah, just some quick quarterback talk before we wrapped up there. But yeah, I think that's all we had for today. We're at the tail end of the first overtime. We're a few minutes away from the Lakers Warriors tip off. So, Mike, you might be staying up whether you want to or not, depending on how this Bruins game goes.
It's one of those things where I'll probably stay at I don't want to hold myself to an arbitrary halftime. If I yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not holding you. I'm tell you what, I'm not going to hold you to anything. You can do what you want.
Um,
But yeah.
one final somewhat basketball related note. I believe Kwame Brown was very good at basketball.
Oh my God! Wait, how did we completely miss the Kwame thing? All right. Final segment here. Yeah, I meant to throw that on the notes. I think I paused midway through the NBA, which is why I forgot. But yeah, how about him making quite a comeback? Yeah. So again, thank you for bringing this up, Mike. I would have been really upset if we signed off without addressing that. Again, been kind of a joke the last 20 years between being the number one pick and just everything not really panning out. And really has just like I haven't even fully followed the situation, but it just seems like he's firing off Instagram lives and
Just
taking names everywhere. Even guys like again Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, just like
don't really fuck with unless you're
going at them, and I don't know, just seems like just don't get in Kwame's right now. Did you see that story about him and his brother in the club?
No.
Oh, they said it took like 20 security guards to kick them out. Like just him and his brother. Like that's how just like big they are.
Yeah, just driving like 75 down a highway with a cowboy hat on, just on Instagram Live, just wild stuff.
You talk about a PR 101.
Yeah, I mean, he did make the league 13 years. You got to give him credit. He made some money.
They made Kobe come by for 82 that night. Set some monster screens.
Well, they posted the highlight tape off of that, and like, everyone watching it was like, I mean, those were some good screens. He's not lying.
No, but I mean, yeah, geez, it's just funny to see him relevant again. And like I said, it just seems like it just don't get it. He came at Stephen A. and just like just don't get in Kwame's way right now. Cause I mean, as much as he didn't live up to his number one status, he did it again. He stuck around the NBA before, but as much as he didn't live up to his number one pick status, he's doing the exact opposite on social media right now.
I think if you're going strictly basketball players, he's as good as IG Live as Kevin Durant is tweeting.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're looking at peak, this week right here, we'll see how long he keeps it up. If he either keeps going on social media, starts a podcast, or gets into the media some other way, just like look out for Kwame. That's gonna be awesome. Thank you for throwing that in there at the last second here.
Yeah, I just want to. This is a very pro Kwame Brown podcast.
Yes, yeah. To quote the Matt Barnes, I don't want the smoke. But anyway, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I was thinking that going into my notes, and I must have got distracted at some point. So thanks for pulling out there. We had to end with some Kwame talk, but yeah, playoffs in full swing. Basketball, hockey. We got some PGA this weekend. Baseball as always, and yeah, we'll see. We'll just see how everything goes, and we'll be back later on, probably on Sunday.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.